So now one thing I want to look at as well too when you're setting goals, or what kind of goals you should have. I know that we've all heard in life that, hey, you can do anything you want, you can be anything you want. I don't know about that. Some people just don't have the ability to play basketball or to win an Olympic medal in high jump or swim across the English Channel. I don't know. There's all these kinds of hike mountains, whatever. There's all these different things that some people are just more naturally gifted for that, and other people are more naturally gifted for other areas. So I really want to talk about our strengths. So I want you asking yourself, hey, what am I absolute best at? Because identifying your strengths helps. It can help you. You can use them to leverage and help give you that advantage towards your goals. Now, I'm not saying you got to look at, okay, here's all my strengths, and then say, these are the only things I can achieve. I'm going to cut anything else. Like if those other things interest you and you want to do it and they're important, go for it. Make it happen. Do that. But really knowing what your strengths are gives you a guidance of where it's the best, kind of your best angles of kind of what you can really achieve. So, because really individuals who use their strengths every day are actually, it's been shown to have 6 times more likely to be engaged at your work, and more likely to, within your family, and you're more likely to achieve your goals. Because listen, if you're excited about the day, if you're positive about the outcome, if you're optimistic where you can go, you're more likely to achieve the goal. If you're looking at that goal and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can ever do it. I don't think that's really what I'm capable of. You're kind of down on yourself. You're down on the situation, the circumstances. You're not excited about it. You're less likely to achieve your goal. Just like anything, when you're heading on a trip, you're excited to go on the trip. You're like, hey, it's gonna be awesome. You go on that, you do your thing, or whatever it is. You got an event that you got coming up, or whatever. Something happening. You're more likely to achieve that, to get after that, because you're excited. If you're dreading it, if you're not excited about it, if you're depressed about what's coming up, it's going to be a little bit harder to achieve that. So, I want you to take that into consideration when you're setting your goals. That, hey, what are you naturally good at? How can you use those skills to accelerate your progress? Not to limit what you can do or can't do, but accelerate your progress into different areas and play to those strengths. But also on the other side of that coin, when you're asking, hey, what are my strengths? The fourth piece is, what am I weak at? So really on the flip side, that's what you want to ask yourself. What am I weak at? Knowing your weaknesses isn't about being hard on yourself. Isn't about beating yourself up or talking about what you're not capable of. It's just about being realistic. It's about having certain expectations of where you can go and what you can do. Because if you're aware of your weak points, you can either work on them or you can find ways to mitigate them. So, let me give you an example. So say you're you're great at coming up with ideas, but maybe you're not so good at following through with them. Well, knowing this is that you might be able to focus on creating a structured plan, or finding an accountability partner, or having people alongside that can help keep you on track. And that kind of comes back to the people I was talking about earlier, having those around you, your friends, your family, all bought into those same goals or similar goals, and they all can support each other, because there's, all relationships, some people have strengths and other people have other strengths, different strengths. Some people have weaknesses and they got different weaknesses, and they can complement each other. And so that's why having those people around you, you can borrow from other people's strengths, and you can lend out your weaknesses and say, hey, I can use your strengths to help shore up this area so we can go accomplish these goals, and we can go work on these kinds of things. Or maybe there are weaknesses you can fix. You're just like, hey, this is something that I can work on, I can improve at. It's not a big deal. I can get it, and that's fine too. But knowing those issues is going to help, because a lot of times what stops a lot of people from achieving goals is that we just look at the good things. Hey, when I hike that mountain, or when I lose this weight, or when my business is successful, or I have this much money saved up and I'm retired, I'm going to be able to do all these things. It's going to be so awesome. And you want to have those good feelings. You want to have those positive, optimistic feelings. However, what you also want to look at though is, what are the potential roadblocks? What are the potential hurdles I have to overcome in order to achieve that? Because you're going to have to overcome hurdles. If there's any goal that you really want to achieve, any big goal that you really want to achieve, you're just sitting there saying, okay, it's all going to be great, nothing's wrong, it's going to happen. It's just not going to work. It's just not going to happen. if you know that, hey, I want to have this big goal, here's some problems I'm going to achieve. I'm going to have these kinds of setbacks. I'm going to have these kind of potentially negative experiences. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. It just means, okay, I know these can happen. And then you have to ask yourself, am I willing to overcome those difficulties, those challenges, those hardships in order to accomplish my goal? And if you're like, yeah, I'm willing to tackle those on. I'm willing to handle those. If I know that if I can handle those, it'll get me closer to my goal. Yes, then okay, all the better. Let's go get this done. But sometimes you look at your goal and you're like, you know what, that problem, that challenge is, conquering that is not worth the goal. Well, then maybe your goal is either wrong or it's too small. A lot of times you just have too small of a goal. If that's what's going to stop you. So, work on that. See what the weaknesses are. Know what the potential hurdles are, and what you're going to be having to overcome in order to achieve that goal.